welcome back to the review. Me, Kevin from Let's Talk Whisky. This week we're all over Tomatin, as you can see. I've got my Tomatin hoodie on, my Tomatin glass, and I've got the Tomatin 18-year-old, which we're going to get stuck into. The Tomatin 18-year-old, or distillery itself, is a Highland distillery just south of Inverness, up the A9. You can't miss it on your left-hand side if you're driving up. This is our 18-year-old. It's part of the core range. The core range does consist of the Legacy, the 12, the Cask Strength, the 14 Portwood, and the 18. And I think the 30-year-old's in there as well. But the 18-year-old is fascinating. I opened this other week. I've had it before, but I've never reviewed it, I noticed. So I opened this other week, and I've had a couple of drams. I've shared a couple already. I've sent some out to people to try. Tomatin in itself, if we go back a little bit of history, is 1897, founded just in the Highlands in Inverness. It's had turmoils like every other distillery, but mostly Tomatin, the bizarre story of it all is they nearly went into liquidation, nearly had to completely shut down until it was bought over in the 80s. So between the 60s and 70s, one of the biggest distilleries in Scotland and one of the biggest in the world, producing about 12 million litres of alcohol per year. It's been stripped back now to producing around about 2.4, 2.5 million litres of alcohol per year. All about the quantity and not, all about the quality, sorry, and not quantity. Producing quality in a smaller batch, and 2.5 million compared to the 12.5, which are still capable of using. The wood policy is absolutely paramount to Tomatin's legacy, shall we call it. It's looked at so much compared to other distilleries I've seen and been to, and I've been luckily enough to be in behind the scenes. Having their own cooper on site as well is absolutely massive. They're bought over by a Japanese company, Takara Shuzo, which to this day still own it, and the only Scottish distillery that they've got. Tomatin in itself has Tomatin as a single malt. They have, as their non-peated range, they've got Cabochon, which is a lightly peated range, and also regained Antiquary, which has been revived, and I've been able to try a few of those, and Antiquary is fantastic as well. But we're talking about the 18-year-old today. This is 46% non-chill filtered, natural colour, minimum 18 years, Oloroso sherry casks. The real kind of cool thing about this bottle in itself is it's, when you look at sherry casks, you expect to not be able to see through, super dark. This is a finish, a sherried finish. It's not had its full maturation in sherry casks. So this has had 15 years in refill casks, still giving what Tomatin like to use, the DNA coming through, with a 3-year finish in Oloroso sherry casks. And I think they're from Sherried in Spain, is where they've been able to get the sherry casks from, which they've got a real good partnership with some of these bodegas in Spain. Tomatin has one of the longest, or what I think is the longest fermentation in Scotch. It's about 160 hours or so, which is in steel washbacks. So there's 12 big steel washbacks there, and this is more or less fermenting for about a week. If you look at the hours on that, this gets a real amazing, I always say try new make spirit, and I find Tomatin new make spirit to be very bizarre and very different in this full big note of, I think I've said it before, of rhubarb, which I don't get anywhere else. So if you're able to try the new make, try that. Makes it very, very soft, a very delicate liquid, a very delicate spirit. So to have a big, heavy sherry cask influence, you would expect to kind of take over. But with this here being 18 years old and 15 in refill bourbon casks, you're still getting that DNA of what Tomatin want to be. They don't want to lose that within a cask of being super, super dark and super rich and losing what the Tomatin spirit really is. So this has had a 3-year finish in Oloroso sherry casks as well. So the colour of it, if you can see, it is still dark. It's off bronze. It's more kind of flat iron brew if we're being super Scottish here. So I'm going to give it a wee swirl in the glass, see what the legs are doing. And they do take their time to come down. It's 46% non-chill filtered natural colour. It's what we like to see in a whisky, right? So we'll get this on the nose. You get the sherry notes, but not what I expect. It's not a sherry bomb, right? It's delicate, there's fruit still coming through. It's like a soft apricot, peach, boiled pears and like sugared caramelized pear. You know, if you boil pear and you've got caramelized sugar on it, there's a leathery note, there's a sweetness to it, and it's I can't get off that kind of pear note there. It's not fresh ripe pear. It's definitely boiled stewed pear. Maybe a little bit of cinnamon, leathery, soft. A little bit of cigar, like nice cigar, unsmoked cigar, fresh cigar as well, and fruity. You know, and that, I think that's the underlying of the DNA, that long fermentation time, and you're still getting that what I get from other tomatoes. So it's a great nose so far. But let's get this on the palate. Slange it on. Chewy. It's raspberries, blueberries, a little bit of gooseberry in there. That tiny bit of rhubarb. Not spicy, a little bit dry, nutty. That leathery note staying in the backdrop of it, the kind of sugared pear is staying there, that caramelized sugar note on top, underlying with it's maybe like stewed apple now as well in the back note of it. That soft kind of sweeter apple note, sweeter pear, with the top notes of kind of peachy apricot, nutty. There's a lot going on. It's leather now, like that's kind of just opened up there, and this is your leather bound books, you know, that haven't been opened for a while. It's just a cigar sitting there ready to be smoked. Even if you don't smoke a cigar, if you ever smell a cigar without it being lit, it's got this really amazing nose to it. I just can't get away from that. I'm stuck in a library surrounded by books, is what it feels like on the nose. And from my vocabulary, I don't go to many libraries, but I've been to a couple. It's got a great nose, mouthfeel. It's a cracking dram. This is also I love the bottle, and I've said this about the Tomatin bottles before. The etching on the back and things, it's very sleek and I just think it's a cracking looking bottle and things. It's presented very well. I've got the box next door. Just kind of leave the boxes and put the bottles on the shelves. This is one I think 7 double golds, or it's won gold awards at the IWSC, the International Whisky Awards and things like that in San Francisco. So it shows it can kind of be amongst the top sherried whiskies. And it's not a sherry bomb, it's a sherried whiskey. There is sherry bombs at Tomatin single cask experience and things like that, but for the core range, this is phenomenal. And I think you can pick this up I think it's between 90 to 120. I can't remember exactly the price of it, but it's for the value for money. I think that's fantastic for what we're getting, and it's core range. It's not going to run out soon. You know, it's going to kind of stay there. And because there's so much effort put into wood policy, how the maturation is, cooperage on site, it's so easy to take control and make the wood even better. And I think you're seeing that within this whiskey here. I do like a sherry bomb, but I love the balance in this from refill, bourbon casks to finishing in really prime sherry casks, sherry oloroso. This is a cracking dram for me. I don't need any water for it. I think water, when I tried it the other day, just it really took it back from it. So I like it neat at 46%. Could sit and nose this for ages, but there's that Highland hills and things coming into play now. The slight kind of toasted oak as well. It's just got so much going on. I love it. I love it. Big fan. So I'm going to go and finish this. I'll try not pour another one because I want to try and look after this, but I'm pretty sure it won't last long, so I'll share some more out. It's got some more sample bottles another day, so I'll be able to pass this on. But if you've liked this one, if you tried it before, let me know what your thoughts are on this one. Hopefully the wee video at the start you enjoyed as well. I tried to do something a bit different today to get some more images and add to the Let's Talk Whiskey experience. So I'll go and sit back, I'll go and enjoy this. But everyone, thanks for tuning in, thanks for liking, subscribing and commenting. It's fantastic to see you all there. But as always, join me next week. Let's talk whiskey. Thanks.